Well, welcome back, everyone. We are here live on the campus of WT. Got a beautiful morning so far. I've got President Walter Wendler here with us this morning. As always, pleasure to be here on campus. How are you doing this morning?
Sheldon, I'm doing just fine. It's always good to see your smiling face on the campus here.
Hey, well, glad to be here for sure, and always love to come talk all things WT, everything that's going on. But one of the big burning topics that's been here on campus here lately is the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum, which, of course, as we know, unfortunately had to close down. Kind of give me the latest on that and what's really being done behind the scenes to get that open as soon as possible.
Yes, sir. We're working hard on it. As often is the case, financial issues are what gets in our way with this, because there's a lot of modifications that need to be made in order to make sure that the building is completely safe for our visitors and our staff and our faculty and students. So we want to make sure that it's safe. And we're working on those now with the state fire marshal and with an engineering firm, Alpha Facilities out of San Antonio, that is working with us to understand the costs and the modifications that will need to be made. And this has been a long time coming. It's not just happened a month ago, but we've been working on this for some time. But we really feel like this is a safe bet, and it's what we need to do.
Yeah, so we're really glad to see, we're going to be, eagerly keeping up with that, because, there's a lot of folks out there, saw when it originally closed down, were really concerned of, is the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum ever coming back? So talk about just what it means to the campus and, like I said, why that's really fueling this drive to get it back open.
Well, it is very important. And I think it's important because it is there's only two accredited museums in West Texas, and this is one of them. Yeah. And that's important. And there are 100 in the state of Texas, but only two of them up here. And that's very important. And also it's very important because for me, it is the place where entrepreneurism that makes West Texas great. This is the place that catalogs that history. In the oil business, in the cattle and ranching and fed beef industries, in the rest of the food industries, the fiber industries, cotton and so on and so forth. Right. And now dairy and other things. It keeps growing, and this is an important part of the state. And the museum is the history of that. And knowing that history is important to the state's future.
Right, definitely. And so, not to put you on the spot too much, but do you kind of have a little bit of an idea of what kind of that timetable could look like of trying to get this up off the ground and getting that museum back open?
Well, we're working at it right now with the state fire marshal, and it could be some time. We're going to continue outreach. The Panhandle Plains Historical Society that owns the artifact collection, that's a private nonprofit corporation. It's not owned by the university. They want to make sure that we continue to find ways to put these artifacts in front of the people of the Texas Panhandle, particularly school children. So we're working hard at that, and I think that we'll have some success, but it's going to take some time. It may be as long as a year or two before we get all of the plans in place. My concern as a professional architect, as well as university president, my concern is that building is absolutely safe to the best of our ability so that we don't have a mishap in there that leads to a tragedy. That's my concern.
Yeah, absolutely. So, glad keeping safety at the top of your minds for sure. And so we'll eagerly be following that for sure. But bringing everything back here to campus, we're almost done with this spring semester. We're getting that spring-like air going, which means we're closing in on spring commencement. Graduation right around the corner, a little under a month away. Tell us how things are going as we're getting ready for that.
Okay, and we are getting ready. We have 2 graduations this year. We graduate so many students now that in order to accommodate their families and the guests that people want, we're doing it on 2 different days. We're doing it on the 15th and 16th of May so we can allow more people into the First United Bank Center, which again is a safety issue. We don't want to overcrowd that building because then in the event of a tragic circumstance, a fire or some other kind of failure of the building, people need to be able to evacuate and so on and so forth. So we've split the ceremonies up, accommodate more people, and let our proud graduates, and there'll be over 1,000, well over 1,000 on these May ceremonies, and it's going to be a great day, or 2 days actually at WT, and we're excited about it. We're looking forward to it.
Always look forward to graduation for sure. Like you said, so many students graduating, which is great because some of these kids going out into the workforce and everything is always good to see coming from right here at WT. And just kind of talk about that just real quick here as we're wrapping up here. Just how much pride that gives you when you see that spring commencement roll around with the fall winter commencement that comes around, and you see how many students are graduating. Just kind of talk more about how that makes you feel as president of the university.
Well, it makes me feel very good because I feel like we're doing our part to try to keep young minds and people that have ideas and aspirations for the future, to keep them up here in the Texas Panhandle. Because the bright lights of Houston or Dallas or Fort Worth, San Antonio, Austin, these bright light cities attract a lot of interest from people.
Yes.
But there are a lot of people that are new to the Panhandle, or Panhandle residents, lifelong residents, say, this is a great place to live. And you know what? They're right. This is a great place to live. There's no place like it in Texas, and it's important to the whole state. And I'd like to see more students stay up here, start businesses, contribute to businesses. You know, last time I was on, we talked about Pantex. Pantex is the largest employer in this part of the state. Thousands upon thousands of workers up there, and the greatest majority of them come from right here, WT. And the national security is in their hands, and they do a great job with it. And that's what enlivens me to see how this works over time.
Well, absolutely. It's something we're certainly proud of as well. So I appreciate you taking the time to visit with us this morning, Mr. Wendler. And, of course, good things happening here at WT. And speaking of keeping things here on campus, we're going to be taking a trip over to the Branding Iron Theater here in just a little bit to give you a sneak peek of WT Theater's latest production here in just a few minutes. We got more Second Cup right after this.